So who's briefing the president? How does he get to those sentences?
For me to sit here and tell you why he says what he says, I don't know. What I know the intelligence said was not necessarily what we hear.
It was diametrically opposed, wasn't it?
I would say, from my perspective, it was just the opposite. You can't sit here and say, you know, that Al-Qaeda was defeated when we're still looking at elements of Al-Qaeda that are conducting operations.
Growing outrage tonight after former Defense Intelligence Agency Director Lieutenant General Michael Flynn says the Obama administration's 2012 narrative of al-Qaeda being on the run did not, in his opinion, match the intel. This is reports tonight are that Nigeria's Boko Haram has formally sworn allegiance to the Islamic State. With me now, former Deputy National Security Advisor and Chief of Mission in Iraq, Ambassador James Jeffrey. Good evening, Ambassador. If what Flynn is saying is true, how could this administration have gotten it so wrong?
General Flynn has a point, and he knows the intelligence judge. The way I see it, first under President Bush, then under President Obama, the United States for 10 years suppressed al-Qaeda, killed its leadership, including Osama bin Laden in 2011, and thought that we were finished. What we didn't recognize was that this organization and the theology and ideology that drives us has very deep roots in the region. By 2012, as many Arab states, Egypt, Libya, Syria, Yemen, were facing these Arab Spring uprisings, al-Qaeda gained new life, they gained a second wind, and now we're facing a much bigger threat than we've seen for years.
And you know, Ambassador, the truth is that for the longest time, we, through the Benghazi massacre, knew that al-Qaeda had training camps there. We knew that the ambassador was worried about them. And but what's worse is to hear that when Osama bin Laden was killed in 2011, that they removed something like more than 1 million documents from the Osama bin Laden compound, and only 17 made public. That, to me, as a prosecutor, corroborates what Flynn is saying, especially knowing the context of how this happened. So why would the administration lie about this?
I wouldn't put it as lying. I would say,
well, it's diametrically opposed, Flynn said. Come on, let's talk turkey here.
All administrations like to put a positive spin on whatever they do. They'd been fighting al-Qaeda, they'd had some successes, they wanted to claim that it was on the run. In 2011 it was on the run. It wasn't defeated, and in 2012 it came roaring back. Flynn is right.
And clearly, Ash Carter now talking about the timeline for ISIS. He says 3 years is, you know, it's naive.
He's right on that, too. It was his commander-in-chief that put in the request to limit it for 3 years. That limitation should be stripped in any authorization.
All right, so here we are again with the commander-in-chief saying something that is not consistent with experience and the facts. What does that tell you?
I'm not a psychologist. What I know is that we're in this fight for a long time, Judge. The American people need to be prepared for that, and our national leadership needs to be talking very frankly and openly with them about what this is going to take.
All right, Ambassador Jeffries, you are absolutely right. The American people do need to be prepared, but so does the administration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And with